All right, we are live with Parker Rex from Delivery Dudes. My name is Joe Russo. I am the CEO of Palm Beach Tech, and we're here delivering our first virtual tech talk here tonight. So I'm going to give a little bit of an intro of what the tech talk is and what Palm Beach Tech is, and then we're going to pitch it over to Parker to tell us what's going on over at Delivery Dudes. So if you've never heard of Palm Beach Tech, or you're just sort of seeing us the first time coming across your screen, we exist to do one simple thing, and that's build the Palm Beaches into a tech hub. We want all the fun technology that's going on throughout the world, really have a fun home here in South Florida. And we're going to be talking to one of the companies that's made its home here and done pretty well here, actually, tonight. A little bit about what we are as an organization. We're a nonprofit organization. We're based here in West Palm Beach, where I'm coming to you live from right now. But we're also working throughout South Florida to build this tech hub here through our members and multiple partners. And this is about our 5th year with the organization. We have some really awesome, great members that you'll see there as well. You can join if you guys feel so inclined. The individual membership is $50 just to get us started off with. And of course, we are committed to building a really awesome inclusive tech industry here. So feel free to come and join us at palmbeachtech.org. You can send us your email there to sign up for our emails or join us on Slack. But really, we're here today to hear from Mr. Parker Rex and hear a little bit about what's going on at Delivery Dude. So I'll pitch it to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sweet. Thanks, Joe. Let me see if I can get this to do what I want it to do. Okay. 1 second here.
So Parker actually just accidentally drops himself off the call here that we're streaming from. So we'll give him 1 second to rejoin.
Got kicked. Sorry.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Just downloaded the new OS for Mac, so it gave me some trouble. You should be able to see these slides now.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through this. Again, Joe, thanks for having me on. It's been a crazy couple of weeks just in the world in general, and especially in on-demand tech. Just before I get into it, I wanted to kind of just say how lucky we are to be working in on-demand right now, and how lucky we are to be able to try to help the neighborhoods around us, because it's a weird thing that no one really knows how to address. So we're taking it day by day. I want to just break down how I'm going to go through this. So it's, who is this guy that's talking to you right now? What have we been up to at Delivery Dudes? What's our product team set up? How do we work? How has the remote changes affected our workflow? And then I wanted to talk a little bit about a new brand launch that we did, and it's just been crazy. And then we'll go into Q&A. So a little bit about me. Yeah, I am Parker. I started learning at a creative agency called Humanot in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I later went on to work on Delivery Dudes with my friend Jason. So when he was working on it, it was just this tiny little place above Deck 84. If anyone's familiar with Delray, it was like a shoebox size office. And we were just delivering dinners. We didn't do lunch. It was a few restaurants. And it's been about 6 years since then. And we've grown from delivering in like 4 cities to about 80. So it's been crazy. And all along the way, it's just a massive, massive learning process. I started in graphic design, had to kind of teach myself product design, and then had to kind of teach myself product management. And that's just a little bit about me and what I do. And then I wanted to get into what we've been doing at Delivery Dudes since, basically this thing's gone viral. And, luckily we have a couple of folks at Delivery Dudes that were really ahead of this when it comes to like prepping and getting the right items. And it's weird because like you don't want to be the prepper that's always ordering all the stuff and has the box of of spam and like all this stuff, but you also want to have it when it hits the fan. So it's really good that we had a couple people that were ahead of this and just stockpiled on all the supplies that you think you would need. Because when you deliver a couple thousand orders a day, you know, you're going through hand sanitizer, you're going through the gloves, and we have had the masks. And again, and 2 months ago, if we walked into our lobby and looked at this massive amount of stuff, we would have been like, this is kind of overkill. But now it's like, okay, like really, really good call there. And we're actively trying to just stay on top of that. We have a whole task force that's basically committed to just making sure we have this stuff stocked. And then, you know, it was weird timing because our business model basically required a driver to hand a phone to a customer at the door. And that was normal for us. And that's the way we operated for the last 9 years. Was okay, cool. When you get the driver at the door, you just sign and you add a tip if you want to. And that's great. But that kind of goes all out the window when there's, you know, transfer of germs and everyone's kind of on edge, as they should be, about this crazy thing that's going on. So it was a scramble to try to fix the last step in our logistics so that our customers wouldn't be at risk, our drivers wouldn't be at risk, and our restaurants wouldn't be at risk. And then as far as getting that message out as fast as possible to all of our customers, you know, we have different ways of distributing messaging. We have obviously a big email list and push notifications, but that's not enough because you need to plaster the website with that messaging. You need to actually build things into your products so that when people are using them, they interact, they connect, and they trust. So it was really important to us that we get all this messaging out to our customers, because again, it comes down to like the safety of our customers, our drivers, and our restaurants. And that was this, you know, we named it death of phone tipping. It's an aggressive name, but it was basically just like, we need to get that thing gone now. And beyond that, we actually just launched a new version of this today, which is where you would do what you would expect, where you're tipping up front. It's something we had not had before, but now when you order through Delivery Dudes, it's, you know, as easy as a tap to apply the tip, no matter what rate you have. So that was one of the big changes we had to do very quickly, but it was totally necessary. Let's see, this is not loading. Okay, skipped over a slide. Apparently, it doesn't want to load.
Sometimes it takes a second to load.
Okay,
slides.
So this next one I know is about our kind of product team layout. Since this is like a tech talk, I wanted to talk about how we're able to move so fast, but it doesn't seem like it wants to load. I'm just going to leave this one up and kind of just talk about the way that we work and the way that we're able to kind of launch new products, and how there's just weird nuances that we've never seen in tech that are happening right now. Like normally when I submit a new iOS app or a new Android app, the Google Play Store will take up to like 2 or 3 days to review that new app, and they might take even longer. And same thing with the iOS store. So if I go and I submit a new Delivery Dudes app to fix this tipping element of our business process, I might have to wait up to like a week. But because of this pandemic that's going on, Apple and Google are being very, very considerate, very helpful. And they're saying, okay, cool. Like, you're in the delivery space, we will move you to the top of the list, which is a huge deal, because now we're getting expedited on all the app reviews, and it takes as little as 30 minutes, maybe an hour. So that's just one nuance about it. I can't get this one slide to load, which is super strange, but I'm not going to let it ruin this. So when it comes to our product team kind of working together, everyone knows like the go-to tools. You know, we're on Zoom right now. That's the classic. But one that I do have a recommendation for, if you are working with a lot of remote team members, is a product called Tandem. it just came out of stealth, and it's basically like Slack for voice. So instead of having a chat room where you're going back and forth like a walkie-talkie, this is basically just a voice server that you can switch between rooms. So at Delivery Dudes, we've kind of put it in a place where I have a product development room, and I know that I can go in there, and if people are in that room, then I can talk to them, and it's just like being in a room with them. And it's kind of nerdy, but it's kind of cool. Same thing with sales and marketing. We all have like basically built out different rooms that we can all interact in, and it makes it a lot easier and kind of fills that void of not being in the office. So that's, check out tandem.chat. And for our specific product team, it hasn't changed a whole lot working at home, just because the 3 guys that are on site work remote a lot, and then we have about 4 engineers that are, you know, full-time remote. So I know it wasn't much of an adjustment for us. So it's been a lot of fun. Let's see. So we also launched a new brand, and this happened in the span of 4 days, basically. So Jason, my CEO and founder, the friend that I joined like however long ago, 6 years ago, gave me a phone call and was like, hey, we should launch something that helps out everyone that can't leave their house. I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. How would we do it? How would we make it safe? How would we do it from a product perspective, operations perspective? And we basically just said, well, you know, we have all of these sanitation supplies. We have the ability to move stuff around town. We're already trying our best to help all the restaurants, but what about the people that don't want to go shopping? So in the span of a couple of days, we basically put together like a minimum viable product, aka a really cheap version of it that we thought would be good enough for us to throw into the market in Delray Beach and see would there be product market fit. And at a time when people are afraid to leave their own home, and you know, with all that going on, it made a lot of sense. So it's anything that you want delivered for just $5, and it's called Dude's Bodega. We got a lot of press around it, which was positive. And we were trending on Nextdoor, which is a cool app that basically, like, if you want to know what's going on around you in your neighborhood, you would download Nextdoor. So that was a big deal for us. And we've since launched it into 7 more cities, and the feedback we're getting on it is great. I think, you know, from an operational perspective, it's definitely challenging, because you get these orders where it'll be like, hey, I need like these 5 grocery items, but then I also need like toilet paper or something that everyone knows is kind of hard to find, and we'll find it. It becomes a little challenging. So I do feel for our operations team, but it was definitely crazy. And just before this talk, I was actually telling Joe that when the founder called me, he's like, I know you like making YouTube videos. You should try to YouTube this and like make an interesting piece of content out of launching a new brand. And at the time, that sounded awesome. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like, how to launch a new brand in a day YouTube video. Cool. Yeah, I'll do that. But then like actually doing like the 14 hours of work every day, and then stopping and then going to do the YouTube video, and like trying to, I don't recommend like documenting your work day, because it's really hard to make an interesting piece of content out of sitting at a desk for a lot of the day.
You're not showing on the Tiger King Netflix series anytime soon. You're not going to go that.
No, I don't think so. That thing went viral though. But either way, it was a fun experiment, and it's just so cool to see some of the stuff that people are using this for. And it's really just a testament to getting some version of something out is better than holding it and trying to perfect it, because the use cases that people are using the service for right now are so far out of the spectrum of like our initial thoughts. Like, we thought, okay, maybe just groceries, because you know other services just do grocery, but it's become it has really become more of like a personal shopper than anything. And we're excited to continue to see how the service kind of plays out, even with the pandemic starting to slow down. I think that's it for the new brand launch stuff. Then I just kind of wanted to hop into questions. I know the time is short here, so if there are any people on Facebook Live, then be happy to jump into that sort of stuff.
So I'll just start, and then as we have people post some questions on Facebook, I'll read those off. But you basically stood up a new brand and in some part a new company almost overnight, and I imagine that was not an easy task. I mean, you said 14-hour days, but
Yeah.
how much of the company was involved in this project? And I'm assuming you were able to just piggyback off most of the stuff you already had built.
Yeah, so it's existing infrastructure, and that allows you to move quickly, because if you have the driver pool and you have the logistics in place, then you can branch out a new channel of business. It's just, even with all of that, it's really challenging to get all the things to line up. And we kind of just took like a special task force, if you will, where it'd be myself, the founder, 2 engineers, and a couple operations guys kind of breaking out and saying, okay, cool, like this is the one we're going after, this is what we're going to specialize in for this next period of time. And the trickiest part was, we didn't think it was going to take that much to get it to where it needed to be, until Jason, our founder, said, okay, cool, the press is going to be there Friday morning. And this is like Wednesday. I'm like, okay, cool. Like News Channel 5 is going to be there. Yeah. All right. Well, you can't not have it live for that. So it kind of made us move quicker.
So my friend Marley from the Palm Beach North Chamber asked, where do you see the future of Dude's Bodega? Obviously past the whole epidemic that we have going through right now, do you see this as something that's going to be a business moving far into the future with you guys?
I do. I think it's just interesting because it really started as, everyone knows they need to buy some stuff right now, but they might not know what. Even if you go to Amazon, like you have like 80 million SKUs that you can select from, and everyone's ordering all sorts of stuff. And I think that like that's where it started, was just getting random items. But I do think that what we've learned from running this in just a couple of weeks, that we will definitely refine this service, because right now, just from a product perspective, it's not where I want it to be. And I know if time is dedicated and resources are dedicated towards making it refined and a better sales experience for the customer, then it is definitely a viable option for a business moving forward.
And another question coming in from Bryce. Obviously, there's a lot of on-demand economy going on right now. How have you guys had to, hire enough? Have you guys had to hire a lot to try and keep up with that demand? And do you see other companies out there who are trying to do the same?
Yeah, totally. This is actually a really good one. I know both Bryce and Marley. Shout out Bryce and Marley. But yeah, it's been absolute, like, not madness, but it's been crazy. Like, I think we've seen so many drivers being hired. Like, we provided so many opportunities for people, but on top of that, kind of the one key differentiator we have right now between us and like a DoorDash or an Uber Eats is they don't have a central hub. So like they're running some megacorp out of an office in SF, and they can't physically like temperature check their drivers or provide sanitation at the level that we can. So it's like it's a strange thing, because when a pandemic's not going on, it might not be a positive thing to have the overhead of an office and like all these things going on in all the cities that we operate in. But right now, it's just a differentiator, because no one else can have as much like quality control over even the bags that the food is traveling in. So that's kind of been something we've been trying to tell our customers is like, look, here's all the measures we're taking, and there are several other options out there, but they can't even go to close to the level that we can when it comes to sanitation.
So you guys are, comparatively to all the other food delivery companies out there, pretty small. I think your slide before said you're in 83 cities.
Yes.
Does that allow you guys to have more quality control over your work and your efforts as opposed to these now multi-state conglomerates? And I guess, how have you kept up with that, if anything?
Yeah, so it's we can have a lot tighter of a focus on the driver pool essentially, and it is just that. It's because we don't have 50 states to kind of worry about. Like, we can be more niche. We can actually move quicker too because there's just less. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I get hit up with the free Chipotle delivery Postmates ads pretty much every day. And,
Yeah.
myself, I'm one of the use local, buy local guys in any chance you get. So, whenever I see that, I'm like, okay, well, wonder what delivery dudes can do for me on that,
Yeah.
and I don't think a lot of people, realize that your company is local when they see it. And more often than not, I'm the one trying to educate people about the history of some of the local companies here.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
yeah,
No, it's definitely a tricky thing because just strictly from an economics perspective, like, those companies can afford to give you $5 on top of a $4 like Whopper because they're burning like $7 an order. Like, they don't that's kind of like it's just strictly from an economics perspective, it's like a different game. We don't really touch fast food. We don't touch, like $5 foot longs from Subway. It's just they're fundamentally different
you're all
models.
larger restaurants like family meals, getting
Yeah.
bulk. And then for Dude's Bodega, I would assume you're getting people that would otherwise go and buy like 50, 60, $100 worth of stuff out and about that they don't want to make that trip anymore.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really like, Joe, the thing is, a lot of, even a lot of kids that are in their like early 20s or whatever, it will be more expensive for you to order a single sandwich at lunch. If you're going to order like a $7 sandwich, then you will pay that convenience basically of someone going and picking it up rather than just picking it up yourself. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey Parker, I know you got a hard stop at 6:30 with us, but just for like the 2 extra minutes, I want to thank you for hopping on and sharing with us some insights there. And maybe any closing thoughts that you have for us and for anybody who's on the video now or watching it later. What could we expect from the on-demand economy, at least in your best interpretation, moving forward in the years now that we have this um, this whole thing going on? We'll say.
Yeah, I think with COVID-19 specifically, you're going to see a lot of folks caring more about the just germs in general. Like, it's not going to be the second that the John Hopkins thing, the map starts to like slow down, is not the second that people stop worrying about sanitation. Like, this is going to fundamentally change the way that people act. Like, I really believe that it will change behavior around people. More people are going to have hand sanitizer in their car. Less people are going to want to, sign a tip on a phone or shake someone's random hand. Like, I just think that it affects not only the on-demand companies, but just it's a global change. That's it.
So thank you, Parker Rex, the best name I think we've ever had for a Tech Talk. He's
Love
also
that.
a really good follow on Twitter. I think it's just at Parker Rex, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's always
you.
Yeah, you're always posting some really interesting stuff about the world and what's going on with work. So thank you so much for sharing some thoughts with us, and best of luck to you guys moving forward. Keep up the good work.
Sweet. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
Have a great day, everybody.